welcome back everyone, Toy Shiz here, and we are back yet again for another McFarlane Toys video. Today, we're going to be checking out a brand new installment for their McFarlane Collector's Edition line, and I will save you all some time. This is one of the best figures that McFarlane has put out in a good long time. And of course, I'm talking about Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke the Terminator. They got the colors, they got the weaponry, they made Deathstroke. My God, they finally did it. You can look at the backside of the packaging. It's all in the box. That's nice to see. It's a nice change of pace. There are some nitpicks. We'll talk about that, of course. Here's the barcode for old Deathstroke if you want to look for him. Mine came in from Entertainment Earth, just as a heads up. If you go over to Entertainment Earth, there's a lot of different Multiverse figures in stock. It kind of varies, but yes, I will put the link down in the description below if you want to pick yourself up a Deathstroke or any of the other DC Multiverse figures. But I'll tell you right now, a lot of them I go, hem and haw, that kind of thing. This one is the one to have if you are a fan of this character. There is also a Platinum Edition version of the Teen Titans, the original Teen Titans cartoon shows Slade. They couldn't call him Deathstroke for whatever reason, so they called him Slade, but that's the color scheme that they have for the Platinum. But regardless, this is going to be an absolute blast. Sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice hot cup of coffee. This is a look at the brand new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Collector's Edition line, Slade Wilson, Deathstroke the Terminator. Here we go. All right, and now here is everything taken out of the packaging, and like I said, if you're a fan of this particular look for this character, a la the 1980s when he was first introduced, yeah, this will definitely be the figure for you, and I'm actually happy to be able to go, yeah, this is cool. He comes with appropriate hands, fisted hands, weapon-holding hands, trigger finger hands, because he has the pew-pew guns, those kind of things. It all makes sense. Yes, he comes with weapons. Now, a lot of these, methinks we've seen before with Spawn releases or the weapons packs or whatever, but at least you get guns that make sense in terms of what you would think he would use. So that's a thumbs up for me. Do they have a wash or any type of paint on them? No, nothing whatsoever. So that's kind of a bummer. However, they do give you the correct gun from the trading card artwork, although if they could have put a strap on there and made it so you could sling it over his arm, something like that, that would have been awesome. Just a little bit extra oomph. Like I said, Deathstroke the Terminator. That's all I wanted. There you go. You got the colors, you got the look, you got an ammo belt, oranges, blues. Everything is seemingly painted well. He has a little bit of a wash in certain areas. He has the belt. He's got weapon storage. They have given him more of a gold instead of a yellow sort of accent. At least the accents are there. It is more of a yellowy gold, so I'm really not too like, oh, what have you done? At least it's there. It looks cool, but it's kind of that 90s styling that McFarlane Toys just loves to still institute. Now the belt is pretty interesting as it has a little weapon storage to it, as well as they painted the buckle. They put a little bit of a wash on his pouches, except for the ones in the back. Perhaps the ones in the front are the ones he uses constantly. That's why they're a little bit more dirty, but a little bit of wash around the whole belt. That would have been kind of cool. Yes, he does have weapon storage in the form of this gun. So you get a total of 4 guns with a red tip laser. That's pretty cool. I totally dig that, and I love that it fits right there in the holster. So that right there looks great. He's got an ammo belt. There's no paint on that. You can remove it. You just slip it over his head. But the blues, the darker blues, the oranges, a little bit of a wash. He has his pirate boots. The body looks to be largely brand new. I'm sure there are parts and pieces that they had to reuse. But for me, it looks like an overly new figure, and so when that happens and I can't go, oh, it's definitely from this, it's totally fine. So they nailed it in that sense. The eyepiece right there in the mask, though, let's say this, if they would have just had the flesh parts around the eye, that would have been cool. They painted it all black, which you should be able to see some human skin right? That kind of thing. So that's kind of, you could have tried a little bit harder there. Surprising amount of articulation in the neck, especially in looking up. He does have his little bandana piece as part of his mask. That's pretty cool. And I really like how they did the eye right here. You can see all the indentation, the sculpt, everything is there except for the eye. So I totally dig that. The articulation is not going to be anything spectacular. It is largely everything you've ever seen with McFarlane toys, double jointed, not much in the way of an ab crunch. It just kind of crunches over a little bit, but it does something. We can't say that about most McFarlane figures. You can get him kicking out fairly well. We'll just say that. He has double jointed knees. Just go slow at first. Mine were a little stuck to begin with. The feet have every which way of mobility, even the toe. So again, it's that McFarlane Toys articulation, but it adds to this already home run of a figure. Now, if you have this Deathstroke, the one that they reissued without giving him the knife in the holster right there, that one, well then, congratulations, because you have the rest of his accessories, basically. So you have the crowbar knife thingy, you have his baton, which Deathstroke definitely uses, and then you have a sword, all of which could have been thrown in the box, just FYI, but this little number right here is the main thing you're after if you want an unmasked Deathstroke. So that's cool. They forgot the rest of the eye patch, remember that? But let's just say this, at least you can get it fitting on the figure. So the one caveat to it, though, is don't push it all the way down because it will expand the face. You'll lose the neck, and you'll give him a fat face instead of having a more streamlined look. You could set it so that it's barely pushed down on the peg and it will stay, but it's definitely integral. If you want a more complete, we'll say, collector's edition Deathstroke the Terminator, just saying, along with all the other weapons that they could have thrown in the box, you know, just saying, that whole idea. But once you equip him properly, you can recreate the card artwork. So that's cool. You can give him the sword, a gun, the baton. There are elements of weapon storage with utilizing the ammo belt, kind of, sort of. But it's really the unmasked look, all the guns, all the weapons, everything that Deathstroke is known for. Yes, this is one that you kind of have to DIY it, but it definitely works in your favor. To see Deathstroke up against Deadpool, obviously the whole ripoff. You could even throw Taskmaster in there to a certain degree. But no, Marvel Legends, DC Multiverse, they don't go together, as we all know. But if you have the Diamond Select Deadpool, by all means, with the rest of the Bat family and across the whole idea of the DC Multiverse, you can have the No Man's Land Batman. You can have the Damian Wayne Robin, all of which has interacted in some way, shape, or form. It may not be this exact version of Deathstroke, but it doesn't matter. That's the whole fun of having all these figures on your shelf. I have really been enjoying Peacemaker so far. We're one episode in, although that one scene definitely threw me for a loop. I think we all know if you've seen the episode so far, but I like the premise of this season so far. I even like the opening credits. Fingers crossed we're in for a really good season because it's looking good so far. Alien Earth, I don't know about that show. Ugh, God, where did that go with episode 4? My God, one more to wrap it up. We'll see how it goes. But I digress. Peacemaker, Nightwing on your shelf, having a little battle, little setup. Yeah, this Deathstroke is definitely a nice compliment to your collection. So that's going to wrap it up for my quick look at the brand new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Collector's Edition Deathstroke the Terminator. And I'm actually really glad that I didn't have to go the route. And that's seemingly where I'm kind of at with McFarlane recently. With all these figures constantly coming out, it's bare minimum. And so this one is a little bit better, we'll say. It's a nice, like, oh, there we go. That's what I think about. You kind of have to do it yourself and add some parts and pieces here and there. But overall, the release is a solid figure, so I do highly recommend them. But it's funny because one of my last videos, I had some friends contact me. They go, it sounds like you kind of got into the horseradish a little bit when talking about McFarlane Toys. And my honest thoughts is that I want to see them succeed for the time they have left. But hopefully this is a step in the right direction and we see this consistency, this attention to detail in future releases. So I'll leave you guys with that. And until the next one, adios.